Hey people, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today I want to show you guys my new upgrade for my build. Now a couple of days ago I was looking into my build and seeing where can I improve my damage for bosses and overall Delirium clear. As you know, Delirium is a pretty difficult content and it does require a lot of more damage. My damage was good enough to where I could farm Delirium, but I felt like I wasn't efficient enough and I wasn't using a Headhunter because I don't personally like Headhunter anymore. It feels pretty weak comparatively to pretty much anything else because you just don't get as many Headhunter buffs as you used to. Now, what I have discovered is that you can actually have 5 times more damage on clear when you're farming Delirium or farming maps even. You don't really need this concept for mapping, but what you do need is more damage for Delirium, or in 100% Delirium. I have actually ended up farming 100% Delirium without a change, without having Inspired Learning, just going in, having a full juice Delirium, and still blasting my maps. Now, the concept I'm talking about is having Ignite on my build. Now, if you guys know how Dio works, is that we have a lot of explosions. We have Asnats giving us explosions. We have Explodive Wand if you have one, or you can use Obliterations if you choose. We have Explodies from Occultist, and we have Explodies from Herd of Ash. Now, all those Explodies are having different sources of damage. For example, Asnats is a Fizz Explodie, Explodive Wand is again a Fizz Explodie, and on the Profane Bloom is actually a Chaos Explodie. Now, what this means is that those Explodies don't actually properly scale because Fizz damage is just Fizz damage and you can't really have more Fizz damage in our build because our build is designed around having more Chaos damage. Now what I discovered is two things. First, we can have a lot of Fizz as extra Chaos damage. For example, we can have this ring that gives us Unholy Might. The way Unholy Might works is that it gives us 30% Fizz as extra Chaos damage on physical attacks. Now, Explodies are physical, so what this means is if a monster explodes, dealing 5% of their HP in Fizz, we on top of that Explodie also have a Chaos component to that Explodie, adding additional damage. Effectively, instead of having 5% Fizz, if you have 100% Fizz as extra Chaos, you can have 10% damage on Explodie, which is really nice. You can actually stack this mechanic by buying rings that give you 75% Fizz as extra Chaos, and there are a couple more items that give you additional damage from Fizz to Chaos. Now, this is just the first concept. It does buff our damage quite a bit, it makes our clear a bit smoother, but this is not the main thing. The main thing is I discovered that we can actually have Forbidden Flame, which gives us Shaper of Flames. The way this concept works is that once you have two unique jewels, Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flash, both giving you Shaper of Flames, you have an additional ascendancy point in Shaper of Flames in a different ascendancy. Shaper of Flames comes from the Elementalist ascendancy, which gives us a point where all our hits ignite and all of our damage ignites. Now what this means is that every time you hit an enemy, for example, your Explode hits, your Profane Bloom hits, all of that damage is being scaled into Ignite. Now, Ignite itself is a very powerful tool because it effectively multiplies the damage. If you had 5% damage before from monsters at HP, now you're gonna have a lot more percent because Ignite actually scales from the initial hit. So the way it works is that the hit from the Explodie overlaps on a monster, and the monster takes additional damage from the Explodie igniting itself. And Ignite, what I found out was actually having harder hits than Explodie itself. For example, a couple of white mobs can one-shot a boss in a Delirious map. Bosses like Delirium, bosses like Colossus were dying from a single rare exploding next to itself. It's very powerful, and but one problem that I had before is that the damage was being hit in Ignite. Obviously, we're a Chaos Damage over time build, so this didn't really help us until I realized that you can actually use this ring called Black Flame, which converts all of our Ignite damage into Chaos damage over time. So effectively, whenever you explode a monster, the monster explodes, dealing Ignite to other monsters around itself, and that Ignite is being dealt by Chaos. In our Chaos, all of our Chaos nodes, all of our Chaos notables, damage over time, and stuff like that, actually multiplies all of the damage from that explode into Chaos damage over time, effectively making our damage scale almost into infinity. The way it works is if you have a small pack of monsters, let's say you have a Legion, you have even a couple of rare monsters next to a boss, the boss will pretty much instantly die, even in the hardest maps. Now, what I also found is that you can actually use Breach Portal. If you really want to go full juice, if you really feel like you need more damage, Breach Portal, what it does, it effectively opens a breach wherever you choose. You choose to have a place, let's say next to a boss that you're trying to 1v1. You summon a breach, the breach explodes, the breach explodes, opens up, and a bunch of monsters come in. As the monsters come in, they all explode, they all proliferate Ignite, and Ignite one-shots the boss. Now, the Breach Portal monsters don't open any loot, but they do make clearing a lot easier. For example, even on 100% Delirium, I would always be able to open 100% of monsters in Legion, and if you know anything about Legion, Legion itself is very hard to pull off in Delirium because of how little time you have, and because of how much HP they have. Now, I am not even using any Legion notables, I am not using longer status effect, which is the time that Legion monsters are in they're frozen. I'm just one-shotting the entire Legion, wholesale, and it's very, very easy. Now what I'm doing right now is I decided to have a replica Hunt Hunter just to test how good it is in Delirium. It does give me a bit of life and a bit of speed, which is something I really like. I don't think it's that good. Personally, I don't think HH itself is that good either, but it's pretty fun to use and it gives me a bit more survivability. Now, because we have so many stacking overlapping damage, ignites, we have chaos damage time from DO itself, we have explodies, this build becomes a beast in clearing pretty much any map. I would say this is probably one of the fastest builds for Delirium farming that you can probably find, and it still has pretty low investment. However, the Forbidden Flesh jewel cost me about 30 divines when I was buying it, so it is quite expensive, but it does give you like 5 times more damage. If you're thinking about buying HH or buying this, I would heavily suggest buying Forbidden Flesh first and Forbidden Flame, because it would give you the most clear, the most damage, and it wouldn't have to rely on HH buffs to clear your content. I have done Hamas and Delirium without using HH, without using Inspire Learning, just going inside and one-shotting all the content. This is what I intend to be doing in the future, but for the time being, I think this might be the pinnacle of the build, because Forbidden Flame made my build do 5 times more damage. I have absolutely no problem killing bosses, absolutely no problem killing rares. I just go in, I one-shot all the content, and it's not even a big deal. All you have to do is kill one single white monster in the map, and it'll start a chain of explosions, and the whole map will just die. So hopefully, guys, you capitalize on this investment. This is a very, very good concept, and if you have the extra money, go ahead and buy this. You will not regret it. And I hope you guys are enjoying the league, and I'll be making a new build very, very soon. I am actually trying to make a Val Lightning Strike build very, very soon, and I hope it will be as good as it used to be in Ultimatum. I'm trying to make a Val Hateforge Lightning Strike. There you go, boys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.